Yes, I believe that Bernie Sanders is on track to win the 2020 presidential election. And what tells me that is history. What Bernie Sanders is doing right now in the Democratic Party is a lot like what Ronald Reagan was doing 40 years ago in the Republican Party. Of course, Reagan, 1976, challenged President Ford for the Republican nomination. Ford won the contest, but was, of course, defeated by Jimmy Carter in the general election. Like Sanders today, Reagan continued after that election to get his message out to the country leading up to the next election, which was in 1980. He wasn't just trying to be president, he was trying to be a transformative leader. And Reagan was really the last transformative president this country has had. Before him, it was Franklin Roosevelt. And so it's only natural that the next transformative president is going to move the country to the left and not to the right. And it seems that Sanders has tapped into the mood of the country, moving leftward the same way Reagan did in the late 70s when the country was clearly moving in the right-wing direction. Although one major difference is that unlike Ronald Reagan, who was a well-known politician and media personality, Sanders entered the 2016 election as a virtual unknown outside of C-SPAN viewers or people who subscribe to The Nation magazine. He went up against one of the most famous people in the world. I mean, by all accounts, his campaign should have gone nowhere, yet he kept winning primaries, he kept winning caucuses, and he remained competitive till the very end. Going into 2020, Sanders will have the advantage of name recognition. He is a household name, whereas likely contenders like Cory Booker, Andrew Cuomo, Kamala Harris, and Kirsten Gillibrand aren't. That would give him a really good advantage going into the Iowa caucus, which he came pretty close to winning in 2016, and that's followed by the New Hampshire primary, which is what Sanders won that last time. If a candidate wins both Iowa and New Hampshire, it's really hard to slow their momentum down. Also looking around, people I know who voted for McCain, Romney, are now saying that they like what Bernie Sanders has to say. People on Facebook making Tea Party posts in 2011 are, now sharing memes in support of single-payer health care and $15 minimum wage. Obviously, something is happening, and I think establishment Democrats are taking notice. Many, including as potential, opponents, are taking Sanders-like positions on many key issues. And given a choice, people go with the real thing. The same way Republican voters in 1980 chose Ronald Reagan over the establishment Republicans who tried to appeal to his base of supporters. And one parallel I'll say is I believe that what Barry Goldwater's 1964 campaign was to the Reagan Revolution, I think Ralph Nader's Green Party campaign in 2000 will be to Sanders. And I would urge the young Sanders voters who aren't old enough to remember the 2000 election to go on YouTube and look at some of Ralph Nader's speeches from that campaign, or to check out this documentary film called Unreasonable Man, which is about Ralph Nader. The issues that Sanders has brought to the table and seems to be winning on, in 2000 were only being talked about by Ralph Nader, who had to run as an independent because the establishment Democrats were not taking these issues on. Of course, I could be wrong, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So, well, later.